Hey, welcome back to the Ascendance podcast. I'm your host Juan, and as always, my co-host here with me. Hey, Trip.
Hey, bud. What's going on?
Nothing much, just chilling, just killing it on the first go.
Yeah,
what are we talking about this week, man?
Hey, this week we're going to talk about a certain scientific railgun, which is part of the a certain
series. Yeah.
I love it. But yeah, it's a show that we had heard about probably forever, and now we're finally getting around to watching it. We're seeing if it's any good, or rather not if it's good, but if we like it.
Yeah, and I think it's a good thing to watch just because there's so many of them. Maybe, we end up loving it and decide to watch all the other ones, because having something to watch is always great, especially when there's, nothing else to do. So
yeah, exactly.
We're going to talk about that, though. So
we're kind of taking this. Oh, yeah, I'm good.
Are you fucking with the camera? Is that what you're doing? I can't.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to do, because it was out of focus, so I got it back in focus. But we're kind of trying to use this lockdown quarantine type situation where there's so much production that's being shut down on current anime projects that we're checking out old ones that we have heard of, want to check out, things that people are recommending. So we actually have a couple of recommendations that we're going to check out and do for a couple of episodes here. Next week's going to be one of those suggested ones.
Well, we used to do that a lot more when we first started, because I think we weren't up to date with all
we
anime.
Didn't know
but
shit,
then,
honestly, yeah.
But once we learned that anime came out in seasons, and there was a shit ton that came out in seasons, it changed everything. It was so much harder to be like, hey, you want to watch a show that's like 10 years old? Be like, no, because I got to watch these other shows that are currently airing.
Yeah, exactly.
So it is good. It's
wild.
good to get back to those roots.
Oh yeah, no, it is good to get back there. But it was wild when we first started, and we were kind of like chatting, like, "Hey, what's your favorite anime studio?" And just like figuring stuff out. And we're like, "Whoa, I've never heard of that one." And it's like a wildly popular anime that neither of us have heard of for some reason. And then it finally gets down into it, and we're just like recommending all these shows to each other, and that's what the podcast was. But now,
but how dumb of us is for us to be like, hey man, like, I didn't know there were so many studios. Of course there's a shit ton of studios. Yeah. Why didn't we ever bother to look into them? Just like there's
I don't
studios
know.
Here.
Yeah.
Or also I really liked, it was just like, hey, what's your favorite, studio? And I was just like, Madhouse. And the only reason I know it's Madhouse is because the only one that I know for sure is like a studio. Yeah. And they had like Death Note. And you're like, cool, I know what they do. What else they do? I couldn't tell you.
Yeah.
That's all I know.
They did a couple of things.
You really liked because I feel like obviously Cloverworks wasn't a thing yet.
No.
You must have. I mean, I know you liked Bones. You were a big fan of Bones.
Yeah.
No, Trigger. You were a fan of Trigger too.
Big fan of Trigger. Trigger and Bones. Yeah. Big fans. Just.
But now we got shit like fucking Shaky Staff, like Cloverworks, KyoAni, fucking A1 Pictures. Dave's Brain, is that one?
No, it's close.
Studio
David
12 Hertz.
Productions and Brains Base.
They're both the same thing.
He just like mashed them
there's
up.
There's just so many. So it's cool to see that we've learned. We don't know everything, and we for sure don't know everything like in the right order, just like I just showed. But it is cool to go back to an older show that we've heard about, like, and pop up in the news every now and then. So
and it's just slipped through the cracks. We're just like, oh, second season of this, but then you start realizing, hey, aren't there other shows that were called a certain scientific, a certain magical, like. It's weird to realize that it's all connected, and then to actually look it up and be like, oh shit, so that's how you watch these shows. It's wild, man. So it's cool walking down like somebody else's memory lane.
It's funny, sometimes we'll be looking at shows and it goes, oh, when did that air? And it's like, oh, it's 2015. We go, oh, the podcast didn't exist yet. So
yeah, exactly.
I shouldn't feel bad for not seeing it.
I was going through the Crunchyroll catalog because you can go through by year on desktop. And by season and whatnot. So I was going through every season. I'm like, I know 2 shows. I know 1 show. I know 3 shows, but I've only seen one of those. Having no idea what any of that is. But then also looking at the pictures and the here are all the different episodes, like title card type things. None of them look like something I would enjoy anyway. So I'm like, all right, well, that's probably why I didn't watch it.
And then you hit the season like, oh, and then we started the show, and then we go, okay, I know all of these, and it's just like, oh god, these were so bad. Yeah,
it's weird. Like to have a very general knowledge about an excessive amount of anime is weird. I don't know, man. So,
anyways,
Yeah. What have you been up to?
What have I been up to? It's been an interesting week. And when I say interesting, I mean, it's kind of like normal, nothing very new. Well, things that I've done this week. I finished rewatching season 2 of Atlanta.
Hey, nice.
A really good show. Season 2 is a lot different than season 1. It feels like there's more like, I don't want to call them bottle episodes, but episodes feel more like episodic, at least. Like they don't feel as connected.
I completely agree. Yeah, they started doing like themed episods or like with messages or like, oh, it's gonna be this character's episode.
Yeah, really. Yeah, like it's like, oh, this is a van centric episode. This is a we're following Paperboy. But I like a lot of those. I thought they're really enjoyable.
What happened was changed vibes.
I was sitting, I think after watching it, I finished it a few days back, and then like I was just sitting in my chair and I was trying to remember. No, I was driving back from the store and I was trying to remember like how season 2 started, because season 1 ends with Ern, walking to his like storage unit and then like, sleeping in it by himself, right?
Yeah.
Then season 2 starts with like there's just like this robbery, like these kids.
Oh right, yeah. And
like they knock off like a chicken place,
a project or something.
Yeah. I storyboarded that for one of my assignments. And it starts off like that, completely like disconnected, and it's just like to give you the idea that in Atlanta, it's that time of year where people are just robbing.
It's robbing like
crazy. Season. The robbing season, right? And then after that happens, then there's like the name of the show, the title card, and then it opens with like the door opening, like for the storage unit, and Ern is sleeping on the couch, and the guy's like, "Hey man, you got to get out of here," and he starts like taking his shit, and he goes, "Hey, you can't just take my stuff." He's just like, "What are you gonna do? Like they know you're in here, you got to leave." And then the show starts, but then there's like a time gap, and I remember like Paperboy is now under like house arrest, and like he's become more famous. Like they do really. Something I worried about when I first saw the show was that they were going to take it's going to be a show showing every stepper them like trying to like break through and become famous and stuff. This show didn't really do that. It shows us like they're struggling a little bit, a lot of whack stuff happens, and now they're successful, but they're like not at the top, but they're like for sure in the industry, and they're just trying to make more money. And I was like, oh, it's interesting for them just like to do these like time jumps without like warning us or like explaining it to us. It's like, oh, okay. So that was something that after watching it again, I was like, oh, that's right. They did do this thing. And it took me a while to readjust to it, but it's a really good show. I don't know. I tell everybody to watch it. Like, and whenever I see something, I'm like, hey man, you got Hulu? I go, yeah. Like you watch Atlanta? We got both seasons on. Tell me that all the time.
It's a good show, man.
So that was, I finished that. And then once that finished, Hulu automatically started playing Rick and Morty. Just like I didn't queue it up. It just said, hey, here's episode 1, season 1 of, Rick and Morty. And I go, all right, I guess this is happening. This is while I'm working, right?
Yeah.
So I'm just like, all right, I guess I'll just play. So that was fun. For Survivor, great episode.
Yeah.
Sophie got blindsided, blew my fucking mind. I'm officially in 12th place. She got, so last 2 episodes ago, Tony did this thing where like, he kind of grouped up with the people. They made an alliance, and they had a plan to get Jeremy out. And then Jeremy used like a special advantage that he had, where he's allowed to leave tribal council without having a vote. It's like a vote. They call it an advantage without power. So he has to leave, doesn't get to participate, lose. Essentially, whoever he's with loses a vote, but he's safe. So that happened. Everything blew up. Like there's 9 of them there, the numbers are now uneven. So 5 of them bunch up and they say, hey, let's just all move. They literally go, let's move 2 feet over here and let's all 5 agree on who we're going to vote out. And so they did that. And so after that week, the repercussions are like, now it's 9 people left. The 5 people who like, moved aside to vote out at the 4 felt really secure. They're solid. But then Tony, who's in that 5, said, this is a perfect time to fuck shit up. So then he made his own team and then he blindsided the 5. So he's doing really well, and I'm not a huge fan of Tony. I think he's like if you were to describe him like as a like D&D, like character, he's chaotic. Is he lawful? Chaotic evil? No, chaotic good. He's chaotic good. I think he just does like crazy stuff, obviously to help him. He never does it like maliciously though, but he is all over the place. So anyways, Sophie got voted out because then people are fucking like flabbergasted. No one knows what's happening. I'm officially in 12th place for fantasy. But it was great. I'm having such a good time. Next episode airs tomorrow when the pod comes out. So
yeah,
good. And then the last thing I did, Sierra and I watched Extraction. It's the new Chris Hemsworth movie on Netflix. He's like a mercenary, and he's like given the job to like save a drug lord's son in India who's been kidnapped.
Okay.
It's like an action movie, but it's not. I would say it's like very entertaining. It's very well written. It's not super corny, which is like something you get with a lot of action movies. You know, like way over the top. Like, dude's a great actor, and there's like a lot of cool action shots of him like doing like something that I would call like gun fu. You know, like it's like pew, 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 you know.
Sure,
but it does feel realistic. Not to like, it's like not like crazy like The Matrix or like over the top like John Wick. It's more like grounded in reality, but still just like insane. It was good. I enjoyed it. I think that if you like action flicks and you have the time, check it out on Netflix.
Sweet.
Besides that, man, nothing. Just waiting for Amazon packages. Sierra finally got her scanner to like scan all the photos. Dude, it took like 3 weeks to get in, and it wasn't a big deal because I was like, I get it. There's like the virus is out there, so shit's backed up. But we ordered it before shit kind of popped off, and it was like, hey, it's gonna be 2-day delivery. So like 2 days happen, they go, hey, we're gonna push it back till Friday, and then Friday comes around like, hey, give us a couple weeks, and then it's like, it'll be here, it'll get there when it gets there, and I was just like, okay. And the only reason I'm was ticked off about it because I have ordered other stuff since then that came before this thing came. It's like other unimportant stuff like primer, paint, a set of brushes, and they came like in a different time. Like, how did this happen? So, but that's there. Sierra's gonna start hopefully scanning a bunch of photos that we went through of myself as a child.
That's awesome.
Yeah, which was interesting because I feel like we had a time in my life where we took a lot of photos, and then there's just like a giant gap where there's nothing. And it's around the time like my parents got really busy with the restaurant. I was like, that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because there wasn't time to like get everybody to take a photo. It was just like, all right, we got to go to work. You keep an eye on you. You keep an eye on you, and you don't let any of these people burn the house down. Kind of thing.
It worked out.
It worked out. Yeah, no, it was for the best.
Y'all made it.
But it was cool seeing all those photos. And then Sierra and I were talking because like I don't know if this is like I don't want to stereotype, but I don't know if this is like a Latino thing or like a Mexican thing. But there's so many fucking photos of people in the middle of eating something, just like someone with their mouth full of something, and it's like I remember.
What is that?
I don't know, but I remember like being young and like taking those photos and those photos being taken of me and it being like, yeah, this is normal, but seeing it like 10, 15 years later, I go, what the fuck thought this was a flattering idea? Just like my aunt's back there who's passed away, just like a giant corn on the cob. It's like, it's just like, it's very unflattering. That's something I realized. And I was like, I don't know if it's
really
just me.
Humanizing. Maybe it feels like something's happening. Like you're in that moment versus this is posed. Because nobody can pose for a picture if you're like,
Yeah, no. And I've always told Sierra, like, I'm not the biggest fan of photos. Like, the whole concept of like, all right, everybody bunch together and smile and be happy feels very fake. I like candid photos because those feel real, right?
Totally.
But a candid photo of me scarfing down a hot dog is not like, I mean, it's pretty sexy, but like, it's not like, it's not the business. That, and then the last thing is like my mom, okay, this one might be just mom thing.
Okay.
My mom liked to take photos of us while we were sleeping.
Oh, dude. Okay, so there's this subreddit that's entirely this one guy sleeping that his mom has taken photos of him for a year.
It's so weird. Like it's just so a photo of me just like, drooling with and it's like, I go, Mom, why would you do that? She's like, just in case I wanted to remember what you looked like when you were 8 and sleeping.
Oh my God, that's so good. Yeah, the subreddit is called r/pictures of Ian sleeping. All Ian, all sleeping.
That's really good. Yeah,
it's funny.
That one must be a mom thing because I don't know.
I think it is.
So Sierra's like picking out photos that she likes. She's gonna scan them and like have so that way she can have copies for herself and then give all the photos back to my parents. But she picked a couple of like where I'm sleeping and I go, I don't know how I feel about these. I'd like these to not like be around anymore. But
burn them.
Yeah, I don't know. It's something. But yeah, that's what we've been up to. That's what we're gonna get up to. What about you, man? What's up with you?
I don't know. Let's see. I watched Brittany Runs a Marathon. I don't think I talked about that last week.
No, I don't think you did. I know of it though.
Yeah, so I didn't know much about it. I just knew it was kind of like a comedy drama type situation.
Those are called dramedies, Doug.
Yeah, well, I didn't know if it was a dramedy at that time. I was like, it might be a comedy, it might be a drama, but it's drama, maybe has some comedy, or it's a comedy with a tiny bit of drama. Anyways, I don't really know. It was just kind of like a little character piece, I guess, or like
kind of like an 8th grade vibes.
No, 8th grade was more experimental. That 8th grade felt like Candid, you know. But Brittany Runs a Marathon. It feels like it's like a part of somebody's life that you are watching like progress.
Would you call it like a slice of life?
If anything, it felt like a slice of life with a goal.
Yeah. Is it based on a real thing?
Yeah, it is based on a real chick who parties really fucking hard, nonstop. And then she's got this neighbor that is always running, and she gets home at like, 7, 8 in the morning or whatever, and her neighbor's out like going for a run, and she's just a trashy person. She eats like shit. She behaves like shit. And then she goes to the doctor after, I don't know, something happens. They're like, hey, you really need to start like taking a look at your health here, just as a heads up. So could be dangerous down the line. Nothing's wrong right now, but get that blood pressure down, And then she starts eating better and starts working out and decides to run a marathon. And it's just kind of the story about that and how she joins this running group, and there's somebody else who really sucks at running. So then they become homies, and then her neighbor becomes homies with them, and they're all friends with their own like drama going on in their lives. And it was more of a drama than a comedy, I would say, but it was good. It was all right. It was on Amazon Prime. Check it out. It's all right. It looks good. It's got good characters, good actors, and all that. So I checked that out. Did I talk about Middleditch and Schwartz last week?
I don't think so.
Oh, fuck. I can't remember when it came out.
It sounds like a really specific thing.
It is incredible. Okay, so Thomas Middleditch, who's the main character of Silicon Valley. You might know him from the Verizon commercials. Yes, Thomas.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that asshole guy, yeah.
That asshole. And then Ben Schwartz, who is John Ralphio in Parks and Rec, and Sonic the Hedgehog.
Okay, I know. He was on that episode of Rat and Link where he promoting Sonic the Hedgehog.
He was that guy. So anyways, Thomas Middleditch and Ben Schwartz got together and they decided that they wanted to go on tour together. So they toured across America doing improv shows, and holy fuck, they are so goddamn funny together. They have 3 episodes, which are like an hour and a half-ish long, of them taking a scenario from the audience and turning it into a big story. So they'll like ask people for some kind of a recommendation of like, hey, so this is the first episode. It's like, what's something big that's causing you a lot of stress or anxiety lately? And some guy's just like, wedding. And they're like, okay, are you getting married soon? And he's like, no, I'm not getting married. They're getting married. And like points to his friends, saying that it's stressful for them. Like, okay, so why do you know them? How long have they known each other? Like asking this guy the questions instead of the bride and groom or whatever. And it just like goes into more and more details, and they're like, okay, cool. So whatever. There's nothing like crazy like an ex is going to be there or something like that. And the bride's like, actually, no, my ex from 6th grade is going to be there. And they're like, what the fuck? And just finding out more and more weird details. They're like, okay, so I know him because he's my brother's friend's cousin. And like goes into all these different layers, and just like stepson. They all met at music festivals. And the one detail about the dude that she dated in 6th grade is that he was short. It's just like, can you tell me like one thing about him? He was short. Like, all right. So they're doing all these characters. And then Thomas Middleditch like is sitting down in a chair, and he lifts his feet up off the ground like that much. He's just like, It just became Short Paul. And it's a whole fucking thing. And it's really, really entertaining, really funny. They're witty people, and if you haven't ever seen an improv show, if you've never been to live improv, one thing that's a little bit different than Whose Line Is It Anyway, which I think most people are familiar with that kind of improv. One thing that's different is that you're performing, but it's also casual because anything can happen and it's just kind of in the moment. So it's fine to break that kind of like scenario. Everyone knows you're just having a fun time. So you could be like, hang on, what did you just say? Like, what the fuck? What's this character? Like, hey, who am I again? You know, that kind of stuff. So every once in a while,
they break it.
Yeah, they're like, okay, so you are this person who's that person's this person, and I am this person that's that and that. Like, no, you're this person who's that and this. Oh, okay. So it gets really complicated and good. It's on Netflix. Check it out. It's so goddamn funny. Hardest I've laughed in a while. You will really like it. You'll have a really good time with it.
That's funny that you mentioned improv, because I was like, in
Dude, are you doing improv?
No. In high school, I did I was in drama class, and they like one of our assignments was like, I think almost always like it's like your assignment was to go watch a play or a show, and it was like 2 per semester or something like that. And I think I went to a few improv shows, and they're really fun.
They are.
But you mentioning improv also reminded me that me and Sierra finished watching season 2 of You. Okay. And there's a bit where he goes to go see improv, and it's like bad improv. I'm like, oh my god, that's right. Sometimes jokes just don't fucking land, and it's just like, oh, keep it pushing, But yeah, season 2 of You, I really liked. Nice. It felt like the first season, and then it was like a little bit like it felt different. I heard people saying they didn't like it as much as season 1. I think they were both really good, and the way the season ended, like blew my fucking mind. And they're setting it up for a 3rd season. I was like, just like in awestruck. Like the next day, I was like, I can't fucking believe this guy, this fucking lunatic. God damn, I hate this guy.
Yeah.
But I'm excited for season 3. So if you have nothing to do and you're cool with watching like a dude do creepy stuff, watch You on Netflix.
Hey, since we're talking about Netflix right now, have you checked out that new Pendleton Ward show at all on there?
Who's that guy?
He's the Adventure Time guy.
No, I haven't. What is it? The one with the midnight? Is it night something? Or whatever?
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, I added it to my queue, but I haven't seen it. That's the
Adventure Time guy. Might watch it. Yeah, it's Pendleton Ward who made Adventure Time. I don't know how long he was on the Cartoon Network team for Adventure Time, but he's the one that did the original short and definitely like had strong influence for a while on how the show was going.
It's called the Midnight Gospel.
Midnight Gospel, yeah. So that one I haven't checked out yet. The trailer did not convince me at all, other than the animation. I'm like, oh, there's some cool looking places, because it all seems like it's very psychedelic, I guess is the best way to put it. And psychedelic animation is super cool sometimes.
This is the first time I've ever been happy that Netflix has like the preview bit, because I opened it up and it's just like playing with no audio. I was like, yeah, that does look really cool.
It looks so good, but the audio was not the best. But
the quality or like the mixing was just bad.
No. I mean, like when you listen to the music and they're like talking and what's happening, it's not as. The animation is far superior in my opinion. But I haven't seen the show. Maybe it's just a bad trailer. Maybe it's a bad preview. But let me know what you think.
That's funny because on the new this week is the Midnight Gospel, and right next to it is also Middleton and Schwartz.
Middleton and Schwartz, yeah.
I'll add both of these to my queue.
Dude,
I saw that early. I didn't know it was a Adventure Time guy, but I was like, that looks interesting. And yeah, I agree. Sometimes psychedelic stuff is like, it doesn't always have to make the most sense, but it looks really cool. Like I saw a trailer for this. I don't know how it was. Like YouTube recommended it to me. It was like this trailer from this movie from 1977 called Wizards. And there's like, it's the Technicolor, blah, blah. It's like, it's such an old trailer. And I'm like, this looks dumb. And then they showed one character and I was like, this looks kind of cool, but like not in a good way. Like I wouldn't sit down and watch it with like, like someone who doesn't like animate, like isn't like as passionate for animation. Because they would probably be like, this looks ugly. Why are you watching this? This story is stupid. Why are you watching this? It's like, about the world going like ending and these two brothers who are wizards like fighting against each other, and like one wizard's good and the other wizard's evil and also a Nazi. I was like, yeah, I think I want to watch this. So
That's
I added
some
that
fucking Kung Fury shit, dude.
It's really reminiscent of like Fitz the cat. Remember we talked about that in the past? Yeah. So it gives me those kind of vibes. So, and it looks really like just super trippy. So yeah, man, there's a lot of good. You know what? Fuck yeah, quarantine's doing great. It's a lot of good stuff to watch right now.
There's a lot of good stuff to watch. Yeah. Other than I guess that, I was just checking out before getting on to do the podcast. I don't know if you've been paying attention to it, but not too many people have that I've spoken with. Booger Wall. Have you heard of this Booger Wall?
I know what a booger wall is. Okay, I don't think I know what you're talking about though.
So there is an ongoing controversy with the Johnson brothers, Gus, Sven, and Thor Johnson, where Gus Johnson from YouTube, you know him.
Oh,
and then he has a couple of younger brothers.
One of them is named fucking Thor.
Yeah.
That's okay, that's right.
So, anyways, back in 2009, there was a booger wall in their bathroom, and the mom was upset about it. None of them admit to doing it, and nobody knows who it is or remembers who it was or anything.
It's dad. It's obviously dad.
It's dad that's causing it.
Obviously.
So they've been arguing and pointing fingers for a few weeks on various podcasts and Twitters and every kind of internet form of media at this time. Finally, today they released the Booger Wall trial, where they have a jury of people. They each get to defend themselves. There's a judge. Mom was brought in as a witness.
I don't agree with this. This isn't social distancing, dog. They should be separate. What's going on, man? Are they 6 feet apart?
They're on Discord.
Okay, well, I'm okay with it.
Yeah. We're good.
All right, they can proceed. That's great, man. Those guys are
so
wild.
Stupid. Yeah, but Gus brought out a fucking Facebook post from his mom. And he's like,
as like evidence.
This is exactly how old I was based off of this day. I was 13 3/4. And then the mom is just like, you know what? I'm going to say that Sven is completely clear. I'm leaning more towards Gus, but it could be Thor, like a whole bunch of different stuff.
Is Gus the oldest?
Yeah.
Okay. I know he had one brother. I didn't know he had two younger brothers.
You know his video where he's like Adam and Eve or whatever?
Yeah.
Is God is his
another brother? Okay, cool. Because I've seen him with the other
with
the
Commandments.
With the one brother in the like his apartment or whatever.
They do Imbiamba Jones. His brother Sven is behind the camera while he's around with a dumb whip, hanging out with his dad. It's so good.
Yeah.
I don't know why I love Imbiamba so much.
That was one of my favorites for sure.
So good. Anyways, it's been a wild YouTube time as far as that goes. So it's been fun, I guess. I don't know. Let's see. Finally, getting around to video game talk. I've been playing some Satisfactory. The whole point of Satisfactory is you go get shit, you make a factory that automates all the shit getting, and then you just play with your friends and streamline it. We were playing that. It's been a lot of fun, having a great time with it. Animal Crossing, still a blast. Just playing with all the homies.
I heard you crashed Kate's Island.
Yeah, Kate's Island was crashing for some reason when I was going over there.
I think you were selling too many turnips.
I didn't even have a full inventory of turnips, and I wound up getting like 1.5 million bells, which is a stupid amount of money in that game. So I feel like I never have to worry about my financial situation in Animal Crossing again.
Sierra did the same thing. She was like, I'm about to go sell my turnips. She's like super excited. And she's just like, I'm about to be a millionaire, Bella. She's like bragging to the dog. I'm like, in a fake game with fake money. Yes, you are a millionaire. It's
great. It's amazing. It's actually only like $10,000 if you really think of it. Right?
Because the exchange rate is
If you think that bells are the same as yen and assume that 100 yen is about $1, which it's not perfect at all.
Yes, but around.
Yeah, it's, you take a couple of decimal point places and bada bing, bada boom, you're a 10,000-aire. That's what she is. Yeah. She's just as wealthy as she may or may not be in real life.
Oh yeah, for sure. We're a 10,000-aire.
Yeah, you're 10,000-aire.
the NFL actual football draft happened.
I saw.
Yeah, that was interesting because it was the first time that I do it. Like everything was, like this, over video chats and stuff. There were some really funny moments. No one likes the commissioner for the actual league. They all think he's a total ass and just dumb. And he is. He's just so fucking dumb. He's like a puppet. He's up there like reading his lines. There was some controversy or some deal about like Oakland the Raiders losing the opportunity to hold the draft because they were moving from Oakland or whatever. Like that was a big deal. So they decided that they're going to let the Oakland Raiders, who are now the Las Vegas Raiders, hold the draft.
Wait, when did that happen?
This is their first season that they're going to be in Las Vegas. They've been building a stadium. It's like behind the Caesars Palace. It's fucking huge. But yeah, this is the first season of them no longer being the Oakland Raiders. They're now the Las Vegas Raiders.
How does California feel?
I don't know how California feels, but Nevada's fucking juice, dude. They're like, yeah. That's gonna be so crazy. Imagine playing for them and like having to live in Vegas, be around that lifestyle. There's so much gambling involved. Anyways, so they've decided that they're gonna give Las Vegas opportunity to hold the draft in 2021. So he goes up there. He's got to read his fucking line, and he's saying like, after a long discussion, blah blah blah, we decided to let Las Vegas hold the 2020 draft. And I'm just like, you fucking numbskull. We're doing the 2020 draft right fucking now. No one tells him anything, right? Because there's no one there to like tell him he's wrong. He's just like, okay, the pick's in, yada yada yada. It was something. There's like a lot of people because you see videos of coaches in their homes. They call it the war room, and there's like really extravagant houses, and there's very like shitty houses for like the coaches that don't fucking care. That was crazy, and my team drafted like a quarterback who I didn't want, so I was pretty bummed out. But it is what it is. Can't complain. But yeah, that also happened. Sports. That was like the only sports. That's like
the sport, and that's sports. Everyone.
3 days of sports. It got really boring on the second day of the draft because they just kind of started flinging through it. It wasn't as entertaining. So.
Well, I'm glad that happened. You had
how'd your team do with the draft?
Did all right. We had some good picks, some not so good ones.
You're really good at pretending. Like you could absolutely go like to like a bunch of dudes and be like, yeah, just chop it up and fit it in.
We just got this one that's just so fresh. I think that we're gonna get some good things out of him.
Yeah,
I think we're gonna.
There's a lot of Yeah, he's a good prospect. Maybe not ready to, but down the line he's really gonna play dividends. Oh, cool. Yeah. All right. Sports.
I don't know fucking anything. So back to video games.
Yeah, back to video games.
I put down Final Fantasy VII for a little bit just because I felt like I need a chunk of time to play it, and I've been doing other shit, watching anime a bunch, and chilling with the homies on Discord all the time. Finally got around to playing a little bit more and added Aerith to my team. It's a fucking fun game. It's so incredibly fluid between combat. Like, it took a little bit to get there, but I feel like there's such a good system in place once you learn it. And I'm 10 hours in, and I'm just now feeling like, yeah, I got this, so I don't need to constantly switch characters. Instead, I could kind of mini switch over to them and tell them to do a spell and then pop back to the one that I'm playing right now and then do something else and then switch over to this character versus like you're just playing as one and forgetting that the other characters have some important stuff that they could be doing. You just use them as like heal bait or whatever. It's weird. Super fun game. Beautiful. Like absolutely fucking gorgeous and so anime over the top. I just fought this dude named Reno who in my head I kept calling like Nevada, just making it even more general. What up, Nevada? He's like this spiky haired redhead dude. And for some reason he wants to beat up the flower girl and you don't know exactly what's going on, but there are ghosts everywhere. It was a fucking anime as fuck fight, and I think you would like the anime in it. Just feels very, we're doing it. We're in the anime.
Do I have to play the game to see the anime?
Not necessarily.
Oh,
I'll send you some anime afterwards. Yeah. I'll send you the motorcycle boy. You can see him, which was so stupid. I loved it. And I played a little bit of Overcooked with my homie Sam because he just got it. And I'm like, oh, fuck, dude, hit me up. I'm down to play. That was good. Played a little bit more Fortnite with Tom because it's his soon-to-be brother-in-law's birthday. Yes, 2 days ago.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we played some Fortnite. It was... I decided that I really don't like Fortnite.
Did Tom's soon-to-be brother-in-law do the baby voice the whole time?
Oh yeah, all the time. And there was some other because it's funny. I don't know. It's so good. Like, we got a couple of buddies over the hill. We're gonna have to take care of them. Ooh, big boat. Let's all get in the boat and go and kill the guys.
Have you met him? Yeah.
Yeah, he's super smart. Person, really, yeah.
Okay.
I like him a lot. He's just goofy and fun.
That just is such a weird thing to decide that your go-to the baby voice.
It's so fun. But yeah, I decided I really don't like Fortnite for some pretty basic reasons, which is I don't feel like whenever I'm in combat with somebody, I don't feel like me getting hit feels impactful, and I don't feel like hitting them is impactful at all. So when I kill them, I feel almost nothing. I feel like this happens sometimes, whatever. When that's supposed to be like one of the high points is whenever you get a kill, you should be like, fuck yeah, I did it. Or like very elated after you're having a big battle with somebody. Instead for me, it's like, ugh, all right.
They're just trying to desensitize you to murder.
Weird.
They're getting you ready for the war.
They're just prepping you for war. It's fine.
I've never played Fortnite. I don't want to say anything bad about them because I don't know. Because I would love to work for them one day. So yeah, I disagree. I think Fortnite's the best game in the world.
Are you just gonna say you like every video game now?
I love every video game now. No, there's some video games I don't like.
Name one
that I don't like.
Yeah,
and I don't want to do. I would hate to work on any of those wrestling games.
2K's out of your field.
Yeah, and a lot of their stuff is also mocap, so like they wouldn't need me anyways, or not as much. No, I've some buddies that work for Fortnite or Epic, right? That's the name of the studio.
Yeah.
And they were talking to me about the Travis Scott concert, thing that they had going on.
I was like, what the fuck is Travis Scott doing in this game?
Well, I was talking to Josh about it, and he was fucking no big deal. I know this guy works at Epic. His name's Josh.
It's a pretty big deal. He's a cool guy.
Pretty big deal. Slept on Trip's couch. No big deal.
Yeah.
He was telling me I was jokingly being like, oh dude, you fucking got Travis Scott on the Fortnite, but you couldn't get me tickets. He goes, it's free. Anybody can watch. I was like, yeah, I know a VIP ticket would be pretty fucking cool. No big deal. But he said that it just kind of happened. Apparently, like, Travis Scott's a huge fan of Fortnite, and he's like always been very like positive and supportive about it. And he just kind of said he wanted to do this thing, and they said let's go for it. And I was like, someone was asking like, how did that affect you guys with like crunch and like having to bust this thing out? And they go like, oh, he goes, it was a lot of work. It hit the VFX team a lot harder though. Like they're probably fucking pissed. But everybody seems to have really liked it, and like they like the way it turned out, and people have been giving it like good reviews for what it is, right? It's like a live concert inside a video game. I got to see a clip of it. Like I haven't watched all of it. I do like Travis Scott, but I was like, this is pretty cool. Like this is a dope, interesting thing to happen.
Yeah, it's a new concept.
Yeah. It's not as good as Tetris 99, but it's okay. It's okay.
Still good shit. Yeah. I think that's pretty much all my important, I played video games news.
Oh, I got my stitches out. You want to see?
Yeah, look at your hand. It's beautiful.
It's so gross looking, dude.
It's not that bad. I don't know.
No, Sierra won't look at it, though. She still doesn't like it. The doctor, the nurse that was, doing it, taking the stitches out for me was telling me that, yeah, my hand is technically healed. The wound is sealed off, but it's still,
be careful.
She kept saying it's smoothing over. She's like, it's going to continue to keep growing layers of skin, kind of trying to even itself out. She said don't submerge it underwater for too long, don't go swimming, and she's like, don't wash your dishes with hot water, that's going to affect the healing process. It's like, okay, cool, yeah. So it's so it's healed, but I still got to keep an eye on it. And I find myself not using my finger. I'm holding things I'll hold my phone and I'll hold my middle finger out like this,
Yeah.
It's and then there's times where I'll put a little baby, what's it called, the baby strength in it, to try something, and I go, no, it's okay, I don't need it, I can do it with my other fingers. I've been training myself, but I'm happy that the stitches are off. But I was really worried about getting them off because first of all, I've never gotten stitches, and I was curious as to how the process was to remove them. And I was telling her yeah, it feels fine. I'm just want the stitches off because they're annoying. They get caught on stuff like my shirts or sheets when I'm sleeping, and it tugs and it hurts. She's like, oh, she said, don't worry about it. Removing stitches is so much easier than getting stitches. And I was like, and then putting them on, I was like, okay, dope. And I thought she meant like easy for me, but what she meant was like easy for her. Like as a doctor or medical professional, it's
I'm like,
so much easier to pull them off. And so she like gets the first one, snips, and then she just fucking tugs, and it hurt so bad. It just like, it was like this super sharp pain. I'm like, oh my fucking God. And I was like, but I didn't say anything because like, I don't want to be no fucking bitch. Like, I'm a man. So I was like, and then she does like the other one, and I'm like, oh my God, she didn't warn me it would hurt like this, it's again, it's like for a split second, but it hurt. And she's doing all of them. She goes with the fourth one, and that one had scabbed over, like with my scab. And she like pulls at that one and doesn't come off. She's like, ooh, that one's gonna be tough. We'll come back to that one. So then she gets the fourth one and then comes back to the fifth one.
Jeez, man.
Oh man, it was not a good time. So she's done and she's like, how you doing? I'm like, yeah, I'm good. Yeah, I'm good.
She's like, right, cool. Definitely crying, but like, yeah, fine, not cry.
Yeah. No, I just remember the death of my friends, something super dark. But yeah, I'm glad the sisters are out. But it's I'm getting used to it. So that's it, man. That's all I've been up to also.
Okay, cool. Now we're getting into my work talk because there are some fun things. At least I think they're fun. So we've had this ongoing thing with these people across from me. They keep complaining about people smoking nearby and smoking too close to their apartment. And they're getting all this smoke in their apartment, which sucks. Mm-hmm. But people are smoking the correct distance. They're totally fine. They're like twice the distance they have to be. It's 30 feet. Yeah.
From an entrance, right? From like yeah. That's a long way. That's a pretty far distance. Yeah.
It's pretty good. So they're 60 something feet away where they're smoking. And these people don't want to close their windows ever. They have their windows wide open in the middle of winter, and they're just like, there's somebody smoking and we have a problem with it. So they've had this ongoing issue with their neighbors who are super nice, really cool people. I really like them. They've been having this ongoing thing with them, and finally it's gotten to the point where they somehow got a hold of my general manager's email. So they've been emailing him. They've done it twice. The first time it was like, oh man, that sucks that Ryan's dealing with this, but whatever. And the second time, I was like, okay, I have to call them and figure out what's going on. So I let my general manager know, I'm calling them. I'll get down to it. We'll talk soon. Called him and was like, hey, so we just got an email sent over from my general manager, and I just want to let you know, like, come to us. We will go to him. You don't need to bother him with this. He doesn't have the time for it. But just wanted to make sure that was, what's going on. They're like, we didn't email him. I'm
like they're lying.
Oh? Yeah. I was like, oh, you didn't? Well, I'm looking at this here and it's from this email address. He's like, nope, that's not me. Somebody must have hacked that account. It's an old one. And I'm like, okay, it's his name exactly.
It's the complaint you've been having for months now.
It instead is more than just that. That specific one was, I see that there are marijuana plants in the garbage over here. Just wanted to check with you because we've been having these problems with smoking. Is that legal now to grow marijuana in your apartments? Which, first off, this is California, so we do have laws about that, where you can legally grow your own marijuana plant. That's totally fine. As long as you're not starting like a whole fucking farm, you're good to go.
Or selling it.
Or selling it. Yeah, you're allowed to have your own personal supply, so you're all good. Well, he emailed about that. So that happened that morning. And I talked to my maintenance and I'm like, hey man, there were pot plants over in that trash that's like outside of their place, right? And he's like, yeah, they showed up this morning. So I told my general manager, I'm like, look, man, he is not admitting to it. I don't know what to do. There were absolutely these marijuana plants in that trash. So it was from this morning. So he's like, all right, if he wants to talk to me so bad, I'll call him and I'll tell him to knock that shit off and don't talk to me. So he calls and he's like, hey, so I just got your email and just wanted to let you know that like you shouldn't contact me at all. And he's like, I didn't email you. he starts lying to him. He's like, all right, then let's go back, and goes to all of his emails. He's like, was this one you? Yes, it was. Was this one you? No, that one wasn't. And it's just like super inconsistent, but they're all him. And I'm like, dude, we have your email on file. You have it different in the computer. This one that you just emailed us is a third email. We have 3 of your fucking emails, and 2 of them you're denying. Like, what the fuck? So,
and some people are like, just like, they won't, like, when they refuse to admit to what they've done. Like, it's not like you did something wrong. Like, I get that they're going over your head, and it's like, but just why try to fucking lie?
Blatantly lying, where I'm just like, okay, look, I'm trying to help you. I want you to feel happy in this situation, but you're harassing the people next to you. Now they actually want to leave because they're downstairs neighbors. Now that everyone's on lockdown and home all the time, they're complaining of like regular noise of an upstairs neighbor. You always hear people upstairs. It doesn't matter. It matters if it's very frequent and very loud, but it's not. It's just like the regular movement or whatever.
Just like people living in the place.
Yeah, just people living there. So anyways, these people want to move to a different apartment now, and I feel really bad. There's like, yeah, we just want to downstairs and hopefully somewhere far from there. So I'm like, okay, yeah, that's understandable, but you got harassed into moving by your shitty fucking neighbors that now we hate those neighbors and we're going to respect you forever. Like,
I like how you can't call them a liar. Like, look, man, I know you're lying, but I can't say you're a liar, right?
Yeah,
but
it's just like,
all right, fuck you. You're a liar. Here's the fucking proof.
Yeah, he's like, dude, you're lying to me, man. It's either that or somebody is hacking from your patio.
Yeah.
That's what he actually said to him. And he was like, I was so close to just swearing at him and telling him he's either a fucking psychopath or he's an asshole. Like,
just imagine being like, just be like, dude, fucking anonymous, they stole my fucking email and it's them, it's not me. They're the ones hacking. Right? Like, why would someone hack?
You're an adult. This is your problem.
Yeah, you can't be like, oh, someone hacked me. That's great.
It blew my mind.
Awesome, dude. That guy's awesome. We should invite him to New Year's next year.
And then there's this other dude that I've talked about before who he also complains about weird shit all the time. He has upstairs neighbors that he says are very loud nonstop. Every time I've called or texted or whatever, we always get the response of like, no, that wasn't me. Or like, yeah, I'm playing my music, but I didn't think it was that loud. I'll go ahead and turn it down. You know, like really reasonable person. So tonight he calls me. He's like, we got to do something with this upstairs neighbor. Call me. And I'm like, oh my God. Okay, fucking fine. And his upstairs neighbor was apparently making noise again. So he decided to go off on this big, like, racist kind of tirade.
Whoa.
Yeah. He did say, and I quote, send him back from whatever country he came from. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like
he can't send him back to California. That's where he's from.
Yeah. You don't know him. And he was telling me, he's like, I've never seen this guy. I've seen all of my other neighbors, but I had never seen this guy. And I'm like, okay, Brennan.
That's awesome.
It's so annoying. So he was talking about that. I'm like, all right, cool. I'll call him. Dude's reasonable. I'm sure whatever's going on. So I call him like, hey, we're getting complaints that it's a little bit loud in your apartment. And he's like, yeah, my friend just cut his finger really bad. We're on our way to the ER. I'm like, all right, thanks. I'm so sorry. Good luck. Bye. This fucking asshole who's always complaining about shit. And then the guy upstairs is super nice, super reasonable. If he would just leave his fucking apartment, and this was before the lockdown, if he would just leave his goddamn apartment, knock on the door and be like, hey man, it's been a little bit loud. I don't know if we could.
He'd probably be cool about it. Yeah,
totally fine. But instead he wants to blow it up into a big thing. So instead I have to be like, hey, what's going on, Muhammad? Just want to help you out here. You're a homie. Just, don't be too loud. Your neighbor's being a little bit sensitive right now. So you know how it is. God, dude. It's weird being like a shitty parent to all of these people that live here sometimes. And I've been on call for almost 3 months straight. I keep getting called in the middle of the night. I finally got like 2 nights of good rest.
When do you get not to be off? When are you off call?
In like a month. Maybe.
When Kate can walk again?
Yeah. Today she almost took a tumble. So she broke her foot. She broke her foot. I've been on call ever since then. And then she's using a walker now. She got her cast off, and she's wearing like one of those air pump cast things, the black like wraparound things. And she's able to put pressure on her foot and start the physical therapy kind of process. Today she wasn't paying attention, and her walker that she's been using for like maybe a week was hooked onto a chair because she just pushed it out of the way. And then when she was getting it, it was stuck on there. So she got up to use it, and then she was like falling, and I'm in the key closet like at the back of it. And I'm not able to come out and do anything. When I start hearing it, I'm at the key closet door by the time she's already caught herself. And it was, she almost fucking...
You're like, I can't afford for you to break something else. I can't be on call for another fucking 3 months.
Yeah, because I'm like, you have tried so hard. And she's like working her ass off. This was supposed to be like a 4 to 5 month recovery process that she is somehow making like 3.5 to 4. And they're all like really impressed with how good she's been with keeping her foot elevated and just taking care of it. So she's putting in a shit ton of effort, and if she goddamn broke it again right now, oh my god,
or breaks the other one,
I'm like, I don't want you to suffer anymore. You've already suffered enough. I'm tired too. Let's make this fucking work. Like, come on. I was terrified.
I can imagine that super stressful.
Dude, if she got hurt again, oh man, I don't know what I would do. That would be rough news. I think that's pretty much all the work shit that's been going on with me. So lots of fun video game stuff, a little bit of fucked up crazy work shit. There's been a lot more that's going on too at work that's made it nuts, but those are some of the highlights of just like, dude, this guy's straight up lying to my face, and then, this dude's straight up lying to your face too. What the fuck is this guy? Oh yeah, we're getting sued. I might as well talk about that too. We're getting sued. There are a couple of kids that moved out of a 1-bedroom apartment, and they were being kind of fussy about getting a walkthrough of their apartment. This was at the beginning of the lockdown where we're like, hey man, we're not coming in anywhere. And I'm like, no, this is like a very high risk time. What we can do is work something out where we're not going to be in there at the same time. We're going to wait a while to make sure that all surfaces are okay. And we'll like handle this very sanitary. So my general manager stepped in and instead was like, hey, I'll do the walkthrough with them if they want. Like, fuck it. We'll do it. It's all good. And then when it got closer, he was like, you know what? We shouldn't do it that same way that I thought we were going to do it. We should instead do it to where they leave the apartment, and then I go in an hour later. I do the walkthrough. I call them. They're able to come back and clean up anything else that they're able to clean. Mm-hmm. And then we were like, yeah, that sounds good. Let's do it that way. So we let them know, and then they never responded to our call. They come into the office to drop off the keys, which they shouldn't have come in. First off, there's a big, like, don't come in unless it's emergency, but they didn't give a fuck. So they come in, and they've been toting, like, oh, yeah, it's our civil right to have this walkthrough done in person. Like, that is part of this civil code or whatever. And they started, like, spouting all this stuff. So they come in, they drop off their keys, and I'm like, okay, cool. So we'll go ahead and do that walkthrough of their apartment in about an hour, and then we'll give you a call within like 2 hours to let you know what kind of cleaning needs to be done still. And then you get to have this whole weekend that we told you had to be out because you said you would be out today. You get to have the whole weekend to clean because we want it to be fair to you. And they're like, well, we're leaving town. We don't want to do anymore. We're done. And we're like, okay, cool. Well, thank you very much, man. You have a good one.
Like, hopefully your shit's clean. Yeah.
Yeah. They just said, like, we don't have any more time to do any cleaning, so we're all done. And we're like, awesome, man. Then that's all good. We offered you your walkthrough. You denied it. You never returned our call when we talked about what was going to go on. So all good. And they cleaned the fuck out of it, dude. They cleaned the shit out of that apartment. It was really clean, but there was still some extra stuff that needed to be done. So we had to do some touch up. They like left cleaning product on things that we had to clean off, and just like extra little touch up things here and there, which is totally normal. And they crushed it. They did such a good job. And they are now suing us for the cleaning charges as well as the repair charges in the apartment. There was like $20 worth of cleaning, which isn't bad at all. as for the charges, like they fucked up this back panel of something which cost $60. They were missing a shower head which cost $10, and they had a couple of bent blind slats on 2 different sets of blinds, which is $30. So as a total, they were charged $100 for maintenance, like 20 something for cleaning, and then carpet cleaning, which was $70. And they said, yeah, we understand the carpets need to be cleaned. $70 is all good. But they were pissed about the rest. So they want to take us to court. And we're like, well, we have photo evidence. And also we have this whole conversation where we said, we're offering this to you. And at no point did you say, yeah, we're not going to do that. That's not fair. Like, instead they were just like, yeah, we would like to have that walkthrough.
I mean, it is their civil rights as Americans to sue you guys. Okay,
I guess so. I mean, I'm just trying to fucking hang out and do nerd shit, and then people are like,
they're allowed to be stupid, man. They're allowed to make mistakes, and if they want to take you to small claims courts for the $120 or whatever, that's their right.
That's their right, I guess.
You fuckers better lawyer up.
I'm not stoked about it, man. I don't know what's gonna happen. It's so stupid.
Yeah, there's like so much other thing in the world going on besides.
I know, right?
These assholes
getting their walkthrough, so we need our $120. And I'm like, look, man, you guys did a really great job. Most people don't clean as well as you did. It's not up to our standards, and you broke some shit. We need to fix your broke shit, and we got to do a little bit of cleaning. That's just how it goes.
Yeah.
Bummer, man. So, anyways,
go ahead.
Anime news. You want to talk about that?
No. Did you want to talk about the anime we're watching?
I guess, but I kind of thought there were only like 2 or 3 episodes of stuff this week because everything's going on hiatus.
Well, I watched Gleipnir, caught up with that.
Okay, good.
Watched the new Digimon, caught up with that.
Okay.
Watched the new episode of God's Tower. Tower of God?
Tower of God, yeah.
Caught up with that.
Nice.
Watched the fucking wacky racist show that I can't remember what it's actually called. That's what I said. Caught up with that.
Yeah.
I think these are all the shows I'm watching, actually.
Yeah, pretty much.
Fine.
So Digimon didn't have a new episode. You just got caught up with it.
Okay. Cool.
Gleipnir did have a new one. APPARE-RANMAN had a new one, and it's done now. And Digimon, let's see. Yeah. Digimon, I think, is done now, too.
Or you mean they're going to take a break?
I mean, until, whatever. Whatever's going on with this whole lockdown quarantine shit. Man,
caught up with anime, no big deal. Actually, I'm 3 episodes behind on Sing Your Song or whatever.
Oh, yeah,
Yesterday Sing or whatever.
Yeah, and as far as the goddamn, what the fuck is it called? I don't know. Tower of God. As far as Tower of God goes, I don't know if that's going to stop airing because it's like a Crunchyroll original thing, so I feel like it would be pretty fucked up for them to have it stop airing. But it is really good. I'm still loving it so much, and I was losing my mind when I don't know what to call him, but I'm going to call him Earring Man. Busted out his suitcase and got to use the bag of holding.
Oh, okay. Earring Man.
It was so sick.
I just call him the Blue Boy, Blue Turtle.
Boy, yeah.
There's Blue Turtle and there's Black Turtle.
That's true. There's Blue and Black Turtle, yeah.
No, dude, Blue Turtle, like when he catches like the he opens his bag, he puts shit in there, I go, oh, this fucker just has a bag of holding.
Yeah, dude. I was so stoked. I'm like, this is so cool.
Well, you know what? I kind of had a feeling he had a bag of holding because he was pulling out so many candy bars, for the big crocodile dude or whatever.
But you don't know how much of it's a bit,
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly. I'm like I don't know if it's just being funny or whatever.
I had no idea. I assumed it was just for like gags.
But when he catches the fucking, he puts the crown in and he has a duplicate. I don't know. He catches someone's attack, right? And he releases it later. I go, this fucker has a bag of holding. Oh my god, those are so fucking cool. Dope. That's such a cool weapon to have. It's like his go-to bag of holding and a fucking butcher's knife or whatever, like a giant cleaver.
He's dope as fuck. I like him. I like all of our main 3. They're all really great. I like a normal guy as well. He just keeps being great.
Normal guy's great. Normal guy with the fucking. I love. He's about to die and he gets saved. He's like, oh my god, you saved me! I can't believe it. Like we're friends. And then so good. They get busted and they can't. The fucking lizard chick makes them lose, and she's gonna go beat someone else's ass. And she's like, hey, come on now, get in your fucking cell. I'm super excited to see where that show goes. Fucking Rachel's there, but she ain't speaking up. WTF, Trip? WTF?
I don't know, man. We'll find out what's going on with Rachel soon, hopefully. But I'm having a great time with that. I'm bummed that a lot of this anime is stopping. So
I'm pretty stoked. That means I caught up with everything. So
yep,
super
excited. Really enjoying shit though.
Me too.
I want to see more Digimon. It's so. I'm feeling episode super nostalgic.
It's episode 4, right? That was the last one. It was only made it to 4, right?
Omnimon was 3, I think. Yeah.
Dude, fucking Omnimon pops off at episode 3. I was like, yo, what the fuck?
Like, I get that power ceiling, dude.
I didn't expect that. I expected them to level up the Digivolve again, right? I didn't expect them to fucking fuse. And I was just like,
I know. They just went 0 to 100 because there's still like, there's Greymon and there's War Greymon and Metal Garurumon and Were Garurumon and like, you know, there's tons of other shit.
Yeah. I mean, fucking Omnimon's like, what, like 4? No, like, I would say like 80 episodes into the original series.
Yeah, probably.
Like or like super deep.
Wasn't it movie exclusive or something?
Who the fuck knows? But eventually it took them a long time for it to become a thing where like they melded with their Digimon, because I think almost all of them eventually do something similar to that. But when these fuckers did it, I was like, yo, is this okay? Is this cool?
Very cool. Be cool.
I enjoyed it. I really like just seeing like the way they fight, like it's like Agumon. When he's just like the way he moves and fights, right? And then he digivolves and he turns into fucking
Greymon.
Was it Greymon, right? And like seeing how he fights, like it's very.
Dude, some of those tail movements were sick.
It's like really well animated. It's like it's what I would have imagined as like, I guess not a child, because a child that would just watch, like, and the TV show when they were kids, like the fights were very simple, very basic, right?
It's but like nostalgia comes into effect, and you're like, yeah, I remember this being sick as fuck, dude.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. You know, but like it's like the Dragon Ball Z effect, where it's like, oh my god, they whooped the shit out of each other. Like, nah, they kind of like disappeared a bit, and then charged up the fucking Kamehameha for like 5 episodes. You know, so seeing them actually fight and like whoop the shit out of these stupid viruses, I was like, yo, this looks really good for what it is. I still fucking like that guy's dead eyes though. They scare the fuck out of me.
Penguin, he's so great.
Looks like a murderer.
Izzy's amazing. I love him.
Oh, whatever. Okay,
I love that Kari is getting a little bit more attention, like right away too, and you get to meet everyone. There was the camp.
Yeah, I really don't know. I don't know how they're doing it. Like I'm enjoying it, but it doesn't. You know, it's just progressing a lot faster than I ever would imagine they would have.
It's very different than the show that I expected it to be.
And the intro sucks. It's not as good as the original intro. So there we go.
Disagree, but that's fine.
Let's get into news if we have nothing else to talk about.
We pretty much don't. So cool. The Promised Neverland season 2 is postponed to January 2021, which is, it's a bit, but
that one. Okay, so there's a lot of stuff being postponed and like delayed.
That one hurts the most.
Just kind of like in general, not even just like an anime, like in movies, a bunch of movies back and stuff. I don't really fucking care, honestly. But when I heard that Promised Neverland got pushed back to 2021, I was fucking pissed. This is like
we're still not willing to like spoil where the show ends or anything like that. But it's definitely at a point where it's been over a year for us in the real world now, and we need to see what happens next. Yeah,
I'm and I'm not like, I don't know what happens next because I haven't been reading like you. So I'm contemplating just breaking it and just starting to read it because I want to fucking watch it. I want to know what happens, and it got delayed, and I'm upset. That one really upset me.
You could just call me when you're falling asleep, and then I will tell you what happens. And that way you'll forget what happens the next morning, but you still get that satisfaction of knowing what happens.
I like that. It's a good idea.
Yeah. So just stay me up really late. And we'll talk some fucking Promised Neverland.
If I'm falling asleep, please. So what happens?
Doug, I got you. Okay, so first off, Konosuba goes ahead. Yeah. I'm really bummed about that. How do you feel? So there was a lot of anticipation, a lot of wait when Attack on Titan ended. First season ended. You're like, season 2, when's it gonna happen? How does this feel compared to that? Where you're like, you need another season for both of them. That's like clearly how you felt. But the way that Attack on Titan kept being like, it's not here. When's it gonna come? What if Promised Neverland did that? Would you feel like worse about Promised Neverland?
Okay, so like that's a really loaded question.
It's big, yeah, big opinions.
Because it's a good one though, because I do like both of them a lot. You know, like when I saw Attack on Titan for the first time, like this shit's so good.
Yeah,
Promised Neverland's so good. Like they're just on that level.
Uh-huh.
But the fact that they made me wait 4 years to watch season 2, and it wasn't even too core, fucking kills me. And it was everything happened in like a day, right? Or like it was a couple
a week
days
or 2 days,
like a weekend or something like that. Made me so mad. So the only way Promised Neverland could like
I can tell you this right now. It's not gonna do that.
No, the only way they could piss me off even more is if they waited 8 years, right? They'd have to duplicate it, like double it, and then and on top of that, they'd have to like have the first 4 episodes of their 12 episode season be like recap. That would kill me. Like if they did that, I would no longer be mad at Attack on Titan, but I doubt that'll happen.
So here's what they're gonna do for sure to start out the next season. They're gonna show some shit that's not at all related to what's going on, and then they're gonna show the kids running. I'm like 90%, like 90% sure that's what's gonna happen, because
it's gonna follow some guy like doing his normal like day job, or whatever, and then all of a sudden the kids are gonna run through.
Yeah, or it'll show like Phil is like doing Phil shit,
being evil, plotting his revenge.
And then it's gonna go to the forest, because it ends on a shot of them looking at the horizon, right? Yeah, they're not just looking. Man. That's what all I'm saying is that they're not just looking.
I'm bummed. I'm bummed that's gonna wait, but I don't think they could do anything unless they do what I just said. As bad as Attack on Titan season 2, which I would
lose my mind if they did that, because I know what's gonna happen. I'm like, just fucking show me. I need to see the plants. It's gonna be great.
What else you got, man?
All right, so when I was saying Konosuba earlier, it's because Konosuba is going to be airing. The first season of it is going to be airing instead of APPARE-RANMAN, because we can't see it anymore. So essentially, we're just going to get a bunch of rebroadcasts happening, and I'm not saying that it's apples to oranges. You can't compare that shit. But Konosuba's airing instead of APPARE-RANMAN right now.
But you're saying it's airing in like Japan, or are we gonna it's also gonna start streaming? Because doesn't Konosuba isn't that already somewhere here?
I'm not sure if anything here was airing APPARE-RANMAN on TV. Okay. But yeah, it's going to be on a bunch of Japanese networks.
Oh, well, it is what it is. Can't fucking do a thing about it. Bummer.
On the opposite side of the spectrum, Ascendance of a Bookworm season 2 is going to broadcast every episode as scheduled. So there's going to be no delay with that, which is weird considering there are shows that are saying, hey, we're putting a hold on stuff. And then there's this that's just like, fuck you. We got all our episodes. We're fine.
Yeah. I mean, maybe maybe they're just like on top of their shit and like, we're done. Like, we don't even fucking need
maybe it was already done and they had to like wait a certain period of time or something.
No, here's my favorite. Maybe they're just like, yeah, we fucking nailed it. And like the last 7 episodes are just like stick figures. It's like, and like the audio
really bad.
The audio is like on someone's iPhone, like, like that.
Yeah, that's what happened to 7 Deadly Sins, actually.
Oh, yeah. We should joke about that, right?
R.I.P. 7 Deadly Sins.
When you sent me those images, the most recent episodes of 7 Deadly Sins, I was like, this is a joke. Like, this is some deviant art shit. This is someone fucking with us. And you're just like, no, these are stills from the actual show. Wow, that's fucking garbage.
Sad, right?
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens with the Sins of a Bookworm, but I hope it's not going to be that. I'm liking that show. It's really good. Netflix is going to begin streaming monthly Girls Nozaki-kun on May 1st. So y'all that are waiting,
I'm stoked. I'm excited.
Gonna be season 2 at some point, maybe in the future. They haven't announced it. People want it.
Cool.
Very cool. Iwa Kakeru, Climbing Girls, is gonna receive an anime adaptation. It is a sports manga about some girls that, what do you think they do?
Rock climb.
All right. You got me. You got me.
They rock climbers?
They're rock climbers.
Nice.
They're girls. It's going to be that show. Next up, in the last piece of news, Netflix has secured rights to be the exclusive place that new episodes of Pokemon, Pokemon Journey specifically, are going to be streamed. Yeah. That's going to be the one place. Pokemon Journey, July 12th. Let's go.
Okay, cool. Good for them. We'll probably get it like 6 months once they're all done.
I hope. I don't know. I don't fucking care. I've never cared about.
All right.
Oh, we didn't talk about this last week. I did watch the newest Pokemon Twilight Wings, which is that YouTube series going on. It shows off Nessa, who is a trainer / model / gym leader. And people were fucking pissed. It looked gorgeous, by the way. But people were fucking pissed because Sword and Shield have a limited Pokemon
pool.
Yeah, sure. They have a limited amount of Pokemon. Not all the Pokemon made it into that game. And in this animation, they showed Pokemon that are not native to the region in Sword and Shield in that region. So they just showed like a bunch of fish Pokemon that people are like, man, I want these fish Pokemon in my game and I can't have it. And fuck you, you're putting it in this and you're saying it's where it is. So then Pokemon had to be like, we're really sorry. We messed up.
Pokemon's just like, hey guys, calm the fuck down. It's just a stupid game for a stupid show.
It is.
Shut the fuck up. That's crazy. People get upset over less stuff. So that's good. I thought they were going to be upset because like they did something with the character they don't like, but no, it's because they put Pokemon that aren't actually in the game.
Which there was huge controversy over that when Pokemon was coming out. When Pokemon Sword and Shield was coming out, there was a lot of controversy over, oh, we're not going to get our full Pokedex. We can't get all of our Pokemon. We can't have our favorites. We can't transfer them over. There was a whole bunch of shit that people were pissed off about because people are always mad about stuff. But I thought it was really funny. It was like rubbing salt in the wound. Like people were already super pissed and they're like, by the way, we could have done it. Watch this animation.
Yeah, because it's the same thing. That's funny, man.
It was pretty messed up.
Cool. Is that it for news?
That's all I got, baby.
All right, man. Let's talk about this week's topic.
What is it?
Certain scientific railgun.
Yeah, made by JC's staff. They've done things like Toradora and How Not to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon and One Punch Man Season 2.
Oh, fuck that. I'm about to throw up the fucking horns for One Punch Man Season 2. I don't fucking think so. Put up your dukes, you son of a bitch. I'll kill you. I'll kill you where you stand. One Punch Man Season 2. God, yeah, sucked ass.
It was such a bad time. It was just like, what should go wrong with every anime? That's an example. Like, if you guys ever want to get it wrong, watch this. Do this.
It's just baffling that you can take the most popular,
just treasured, beautiful
property
gem,
and then fuck it so bad. It's like, whoops! Oh my god, we hate this. You know how bad it is? I was re-cleaning like my figure shelf because like there's nothing else to do but clean stuff. So I was cleaning, I was dusting and stuff, and I was like, oh, I gotta put my figures back. I put Saitama on the lowest shelf because I didn't care about him anymore. I was just like, I'm just gonna. It was a very big Woody from Toy Story. Like, oh, I don't want to play with you anymore. Whoa. Yours is pretty dope though. You got Genos up there with you. So
I'm looking at both of them right now, and I'm like, yeah, I just don't respect you like I used to. Should you be up there with Levi and Mikasa and Yui from K-On?
Some people that got a bump up in mine was the chick from she's like the bunny chick.
Yeah, Nanachi. I'm looking at her. She's up top.
She's up, yeah. And then little fucking pink girl with the gun from
Karen.
Gun Gale Online. She went up a few. But yeah, dude, fucking Saitama went way down. He's at the bottom.
Hey, them's the breaks, dog. That's what happens when JC's staff picks up your show.
Yeah. Well, besides Season 2 of One Punch Man, JC staff does some pretty cool stuff in my opinion. I think they visually can make some nice looking shows.
Yeah, like Psyche K.
God, fuck. Okay, but in their defense, that for sure is like a stylistic choice. Like they decided to make it look like ass. Like,
you're right.
And they did a good job. It looks like ass.
Or like Shimonetta, a boring world where the concept of dirty jokes doesn't exist.
That show actually looks pretty good. We've seen some of that show.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah. That's the one with the chick with the like underwear on her face, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we watched like, that. We should watch this.
And then we were like, we shouldn't watch this. This feels uncomfortable to watch together.
Mm-hmm.
Then we watched it separately, back to back.
And a bunch of other legitimately good things. Flying Witch, Bakuman. There's more too. Anyways.
Yeah. So I mean, obviously people know who JC Staff is for one reason or another. This show came out when 2007, we were saying?
No, it came out in October 2009, and ended March 2010.
Okay, yeah, for the first season, because like we've talked about this, the a certain whatever, like that series, you know, there's like a Magical Index, right? Or
there's Railgun S and there's Railgun T, certain scientific accelerator.
Accelerator, yeah. So
index. Anyways, we decided to watch this one first because I looked up and saw a bunch of people recommending you watch this one first, even though it's a spinoff of a certain science or a certain magical index.
Mm-hmm.
Well, turns out that it doesn't really matter. It had no crossover that was obvious to me within the first 13 episodes because I didn't finish the first season. I only watched 12 actually episodes to end the first arc. Mm-hmm. And then I was thinking about watching more, and you told me what it was, and I'm like, you know what? I'm not in it for that. I'm out.
No. So the first season we'd consider 2 core, so I think it's actually it's 24 episodes, right?
Or 6 or something, yeah.
Yeah, no, it's 24. And I made it all the way to episode 20. No, it is 26. 20. I don't fucking know. I made it 20. I think I'm 2 episodes short. I think I'm on episode 22. But yeah, by the time when you texted me and we were talking about it, you said you were at 12, which is the end of the first arc.
Yeah.
And then I was like at 18, and you're like, should I keep going? I was like, did you like the first 8 episodes? You're like, nah. It's like, cool. Don't watch the next 8. You know, it wasn't something for you. And when we talked about like whether like we like this or whether we disliked it, the way I felt about it, it wasn't great. Like it's not a show that I'm going to call.
Fine.
Yeah, it's not a show that I would put in that category of like, hey, this is a must watch. Like shows that are must watch in my opinion, like Mob Psycho, Erased, Made in Abyss. Like these are like shows that I can give you and be like, look, I fucking love this show. It's amazing.
Joe.
Yeah, fucking Kakegurui, like amazing shows. XX, obviously, the second season.
No, the first one was so much better.
It was, yeah. Or like, fucking Violet Evergarden. Those are shows that no matter who you are, whether you like anime or not, I will like hold your face and yell at you, be like, these are the shows you have to watch.
Keep your hands off Eizouken, go!
Yeah, absolutely. And this show did not reach that category. Nah. This show didn't reach a category of hatred for other shows, like that Aiko level. For you, that Agmel Ultramarine, like you hate that show. I didn't hate this show.
I was watching this with my buddies Sam and Kyle, and oh my god, they could not stand it. And I'm sitting there like, this is not bad, guys. This is real okay. This just means you don't like this show. But it's not bad. Mm-hmm. It's very weird to see people's like visceral like, fuck, this fucking sucks, to some like really middle of the road kind of shit. Like
that's super interesting because Kyle
he's
yearly like had to watch horrible shows, and I think we've broken him. I think he
doesn't know what anything is anymore.
Yeah, he's slowly started to like bad things, and things that are okay, he goes, this is the worst. He just doesn't know how to react to things anymore. Because
I think so.
Like I was talking to Sierra about the shows, like she caught a few episodes here and there. And she's like, it wasn't like a visceral action. The thing is, it felt dated, and the thing is, it's because it is dated. It's from 2009. That's what 11 years ago, right? That was a long time ago. But if I think about 11 years ago, this is what anime was for sure. Like it's fucking killing it. And I was joking with you saying that like, hey man, anime isn't that anymore. Anime has changed. At least popular anime today has a lot of it has matured. A lot of the jokes and the tropes that are back then aren't as prominent or as funny now. There are some special exceptions, like last week's episode of Ultramarine Magmel or whatever, where I was like, oh my god, how did this get made in 2020? Because it had those like similar like styles of comedy, or like
You're like 1995 really would have done a good job with this. Shouldn't have been made now.
So when I was watching the show, I did take it with a grain of salt. I had to remind myself that this wasn't made last year. This wasn't made 2 years ago. This wasn't made 5 years. This was made at least 10 years ago. So when I kept that in mind the whole time, and I was like, you know what? For what it is, it's fine. It's fine. And I can tell if you like this show or this series, more power to you. There's nothing
completely understand.
Yeah, there's nothing totally horrible with it for me to be like, you're a garbage person. Because sometimes there's shows where it's like, yeah, there's this huge element, this horrible thing that's like disgusting or inappropriate, and you like it. Okay, I'm gonna judge you, but it's your right to like whatever you like. Like if you like gooey knees, or is it gooey lips and shiny knees or whatever?
Yeah, that's what it is. Well,
if you like those,
they're from different things, but yeah,
they're different things. But I'm saying like if those were the things that like if that's your shit, let that be your shit. That's fine. I'm gonna be like, yo, I think that's weird, but it's what you like.
I mean, all I'm saying is I get it, but like not in that context, man.
yeah. So okay, so I came into the show knowing absolutely nothing about what this was about. Did you came in the same way?
I came into the show knowing that there was a few series that were conglomerative.
That's all you knew?
Yeah, and then I found out that this was actually a spin-off and it ties into the actual show somehow. And then my mind was blown at that point because I'm like, I don't know what this is. Let's fucking go.
This felt like it was like this is hearing that this is a spinoff.
It feels like a spinoff.
Is the first time that that information has been given to me. Like that right there. Like, whoa, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
exactly. You would have never assumed because I mean, I want to compare more than anything. I want to compare this show to that fucking Fumofu. Full Metal Panic Fumofu.
I was about to say that. Yeah, like where like they're these same things, but they're different.
Yeah,
like you don't like Full Metal Panic, but Fumofu. Yeah, we watched it. Like, I was like, oh, I fucked with that. So this might have a different vibe. Like if we ever end up watching the actual show,
vibe. Yeah,
it could be good.
I don't know if they're actually. I'm just gonna go ahead and look right now if they are the main characters in the main one. And yeah,
cool.
Fucking weird. Well, there's some supporting characters. The main character, I think, is the guy who could absorb shit.
No shit. Guess what? I really liked him.
Yeah. So we'll get into that later. But yeah, all of these characters are other characters from things.
What's really funny?
Oh my god! Wow. And yeah, that aired a full year before Railgun did.
This might be a case of this is like an opposite Fumofu, where like we watch the Fumofu like this sucks, and we might love the actual show.
Yeah, I don't think I would love the actual show.
You don't know, you don't fucking.
But
know.
I don't know is what I was just gonna say. So I know that for sure Railgun is not my shit.
Yeah.
And
okay,
so starting out, didn't know shit. It very quickly is like, okay, so this is like the science place, guys. Like, hey, children, we're going to go on the science tour of Science City. And then they're like, who wants to do science? And all of the kids in the bus are like, I want to do magic. And you're like, hang on.
Whoa.
We were talking about a lot of science here. And then suddenly,
I love that.
Yeah, it just became like, yeah, well, maybe you guys can be part of the cool magic people. And then it turns out that all of our characters are cool magic people in some capacity. Whether we know it or not. Like I don't know what Flower Girl does. I really liked her. Her name is Ueharu.
I didn't call her Flower Girl. I called her Salad Head because she just has like a fucking bouquet of flowers on her head all the time.
So then Satan was Flower Girl to you. She had a flower in her hair.
Flower. No, Satan, is she she's the Railgun chick, right?
No.
Is Satan Satan's the girl that has no power. She's the ranked 0 person, right?
Yeah.
Satin. I called her Satin, like the material. I was like, that's
we called her Satan. Yeah. So yeah, man.
No. So here's the thing. I thought it was like when it started, I was like, okay, cool. They're doing a good job of explaining the premise to me. It's like this huge town where like there's the populations, most of them are students.
Yeah.
And like it's a super technologically advanced. And they showed us by showing these fucking Roombas that were like CG animated collecting garbage. Like, oh, cool, this is the town of the future. Awesome. And they go like, by the way, there's fucking people with powers everywhere. They're espers. I was like, oh, okay, cool. So it's like Mob Psycho. It's like bad Mob Psycho, guys. I was like, okay, cool.
We got it. I was like, it's alternative Haruhi. We got this.
Yeah, exactly. So the show starts and we get to see the characters or whatever. And it's like a group of 4 girls. 2 of them are a part of this thing called, what are they called? Judgment. I think that's what they called. They're like an agency. Judgment. They have like, they have like these bands with these huge safety pins. And they patrol the city. And the fact, this is something that irked me about the show, is the fact that they're in charge of like stopping stuff like bank robberies and like potential bombings and stuff like that. I was like, who the fuck put these middle school, high school, I think they're middle schoolers in charge of this? And then I was like, isn't there like some sort of like police force or a different agency?
And you're talking about Anti-Skill.
Yeah, there is another agency. It's like Anti-Skill or whatever, who do the same thing, but they're adults. I was like, why even have Judgment then? Like, why is this a thing? And it makes more sense now that it's a spin-off, because it's like, don't fucking think about it too much. It's not like I'm not supposed to take it super like seriously, even though they fucking do.
I don't know how much of a spin-off it is though. Like, I don't know, man. It could be some like Steins Gate Zero shit, you know?
Mm-hmm. So there's those two girls, and then there's the girl who's the railgun chick. She's like a level 5, right?
Yep.
That's what they,
5.
which is like
Misaka.
there's only 7 in the entire city. We get told that so many times in the first few episodes that she's a level 5. She's the railgun of a specific school. Yeah. That's like her code name. Essentially, she's like, what do they call her? The Full Metal Alchemist. That is her code name. She is the railgun.
Railgun.
She surprisingly isn't a part of Judgment, which is like something that kind of the entire time I'm watching it, I was like, I'm waiting for her to join Judgment. I was like, why the fuck isn't this bitch involved?
I'm sure you would understand if you saw the original.
She always gets called out, and they always go like, oh, you shouldn't be here because you're a civilian or whatever. And I'm just like, yeah, bitch, you shouldn't be here. Get the fuck out of here. If you want to be involved, get your fucking armband and get in the fucking game. If not, fuck off. And then there's Satan, who's like just like a good friend, and she has no powers and she wants powers. And that's kind of like the first arc is about this like drug or
level upper.
Yeah, this supplement or something that's out there that's making people who are lower leveled, which is like 0 is no powers, and there's like 1s and 2s. A lot of people's are 3s. There's like few 4s, and like we said, there's like almost no 5s. But people who are registered with like lower numbers are committing crimes or like getting caught doing super powerful things. Like they don't understand what it is, and it's this thing that's out in the streets. They're calling it the level upper, that's helping people level up. And like the Judgment girls are like trying to crack it. Satin, Mary.
Yeah, but okay, so when you're saying all of this is like
the last 4 episodes or whatever of the first 12.
It trickled some hints in there. It was like, oh, level upper or something like in episode 2, and then 3 episodes go by and they're like, oh, that guy seemed like he was more powerful than he was supposed to be.
It's done very well. You're right. It was written really well. No,
it was so just like okay, it just felt like offhanded shit was being said, and then finally when we got to a plot, it was like, really? Okay, all right, here we go. Let's go.
The thing is, the show for sure like started off very like, it's very fun and like fun and like jokey and wacky, and like there's a lot of what's her name, the girl that's a part of Judgment that can teleport.
Yeah, Shirai.
Yeah, she is in love with the railgun chick, like at a romantic level, and like they're roommates or whatever in some boarding school, and she's like sexually harassing, and it's like assaulting
sexually
her.
assaulting. Yeah.
Yeah, she harasses her, and then she sexually assaults her.
But dude, let me tell you about 2009.
Yeah, it was okay to do that back then.
It was fine. Yeah, we do that all the time. I was just like, hey, what up, homie? Here's your junk. Here's my junk. We in it now.
Each other. It was a different time, man. And that's a thing that back then, that joke or that shtick or that spiel that was funny. That was okay.
Yeah, it was apparently funny, and it was like the only joke that went on for 8 or 9 episodes.
Yeah.
And everything else was just like, here's some like minor story stuff going on.
There were some pretty cool
usage
of powers.
Oh man, that's what was pissing me off too. Is I'm like, man, there's some cool things in this show, but I just don't care about the characters or the comedy or the plot. But there's some like really cool stuff going on, and the animation's great for the time.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man.
Like they like there's the bit where they stop the robbery, like the robbery and the hostage thing. I'm like, oh my god, cool. Like, so this is what this show is. Like, it's like a little like girls doing fun stuff or whatever, and then action ensues and they do cool stuff like that. But then it's like kind of, like it's not really that all the time. And then like we got to the latter half of that first arc, and a plot kind of ensues, and there's like things happening and there's more action. I was like, this part is pretty good. This is pretty entertaining. It's not like amazing, but it's like for sure more entertaining and more captivating than the first part of it. Like the first third of it, right?
Yeah.
First 3/4 of it is what I want to say.
Pretty much 3/4, yeah.
Yeah. And then the arc ends on 12, and then 13 comes in, and it's like a beach episode, and then there's another huge chunk of just wacky stuff. And you were asking, like, we were talking about it, and you said something like, yeah, man, this would have been cool if if it was more of a drama, and if that drama stuff happened a lot sooner,
I still stand by that.
Yeah, and I was like, oh yeah, that's a good point. Like, well, if you didn't like the first part, you're gonna for sure hate that chunk that comes after the first arc.
Oh, I did.
There was just some really there's just some bad stuff. But in this last, I want to say, for the last 6 episodes, there is a new plot that's kind of being developed, and it's like going to be wrapped up pretty quick. I can already tell. Like, they introduce a new girl. She becomes a roommate of the fucking salad-haired girl, and she, I think she has like, it's not super clear, but I think she has like this. She was friends with one of the girls that died in the lab experiment that went wrong. Remember? And like, she's causing these earthquakes because like her powers is resonating with a bunch of other people's powers, and it's like causing a bunch of shit to fuck up. And they think that the nudie chick is back from and like involved in doing all this stuff. I was like, cool, this is great. This is like a plot. Why didn't you just do this? Why didn't you just do this later? Why do I have to suffer through all the middling, boring, non-funny bullshit? I was telling you that episode 13 is a beach episode, and it's legitimately the most contrived beach episode I've ever seen in my entire life.
That's what I was excited to hear about, because I'm like, I don't know, next episode's a beach episode, pretty stoked, might watch it. And you were like, this is the most contrived shit ever, and I'm like, yeah, I don't even want to attempt it, man.
It was wild, because I was like, oh man, beach episode, cool. I'm used to seeing a beach episode, like, especially like in older animes, like that was their shit. Yeah. Beach episode, fucking episode where they go to like a date, like a summer camp, that's another thing. Episode where they, go, I don't fucking know. They play a sport. Those are like, those are those episodes. So I was like, okay, cool, beach episode. Here we go. Right. Obviously, I'm just ready for wackiness to ensue. So the shtick of this one is that, or the deal is that the swim team that the girls are a part of, the two main girls, right? For that school, the 2 girls come up to them and they go, hey, could you help us with a photo shoot? Our swim team is like collaborating with like a local swimsuit designer, and we're supposed to take photos for like an up and coming like advertisement or whatever. And they go, sure. And they go, why don't you just have the rest of the swim team? Like, oh, they're all at a higher grade and they're all like fucking some sort of tournament. I was like, okay, this is already bullshit. Like, why wouldn't you also be a part of the tournament, or why wouldn't they just reschedule all this stuff, right? So they agree. They bring the other 2 girls. They bring the chick that uses the fan to cover her face. They bring the chick that's like older, and she's like also a part of Judgment. She has like the glasses.
Yeah, the one that was in the bank.
Yeah, she. So they have them, and then they go to this like clothing store, and like they're picking out their bathing suits, and they're doing the thing where it's like, oh my god, what's the best bathing suit to wear? Because of boobs or whatever, and they pick out their outfits. The girl who can teleport wears the most skimpiest bikini ever, and she does this like wave and wiggle that I've seen in GIFs at a lot of places online. I was like, but I never knew what show it's from. I was like, oh my god, that's it. That's the one.
It was all worth it.
We found it.
I mean, and that's the thing with this, is that now you could like see references to it and be like, oh, I actually know that show.
Yeah. So she does that, and then the chick with like that's obviously older than them, and she might even be in high school. Like, she puts on a bikini and like her boobs are massive and she's super hot. Whoa. And everybody's like, oh my god. So then they're all dressed. They go to like this room, and there's like, hey, like where are you supposed to take the photos? Where's the camera? Where's the set? And this lady comes in, and she's like in her business, and she's like, don't worry about it. This place is top of the line. It's like, let me show you. She starts like hitting some buttons like on a calculator or whatever, and the room transforms into like a beach. And it's just like, yeah, it's state of the art, like anything that we can put in, like, well, like the environment around it will be created. So just, have a good time at the beach, and we'll take photos of you like candidly, and like that way they feel more real. And I was like, okay. So they do that. And then they do that for a bit, and then like the scene changes, and now they're like at a poolside somewhere. Scene changes. They're like in a yacht somewhere. Scene changes. Like, there's a lot of shit like that. Yeah. And then the machine gets fucking broke, and like then they're like in the frozen tundra, and then they're in the desert, and then they're like on a ship that's like in the middle of a storm, and then like it stops and they're like at a campsite, and the lady comes back out and she's like, oh hey, something's wrong with the system, we're gonna have to reboot it. It should take about an hour. Just hang out here and have a good time. And so they walk away. She walks away and they go like, well, what should we do? It's like, well, I don't know, like maybe we should eat lunch. And it's like, okay, well, where are we gonna get food? And then the lady comes back and she's like, oh, by the way, all that food that's right there, like all those tomatoes and onions and stuff and the potatoes and that beef or whatever and that rice, that's all real. Help yourself to like make something or whatever. So they walk away and then they do the thing where it's like, oh, what should we cook? And then I go, you're gonna fucking make curry. $100 you're gonna make curry. And then she's like, well, there's a lot of us, and it's the best thing to do when like there's a lot of you, you should probably make some curry. I was like, oh my god, I fucking called it. They're gonna make curry. So they made curry.
They got it. That's part of the rules.
They did the curry bit. They became better friends. The chick with the fan became less of an asshole. And then that's it. That's the beach episode. And like, I think they all leave, and the railgun chick goes back to wear like a frilly girly bikini she wanted to wear, and like it gets televised, and our fucking on the big screen that's outside of the store, and then our fucking homie that can cancel out power sees her, and he's like, oh cool, there's that girl that I see all the time. Cut to black. But honestly, it was so fucking dumb because I've seen like stupid beach episodes. Like there's an episode in like what's it called, the Oran High School Host Club, where they go to a
water park,
right?
Yeah.
But it's the same thing, like a state of the art water park. There's also this jungle and this thing. Like I'm like, okay, that's bullshit. But what's funny is that after that episode, they then really go to the beach. Like then they actually go to the beach episode, and I was like, oh, like poking fun or whatever. It's like, okay, cool. But this one was like, hey, let's just make this fucking danger room. If you know anything about the X-Men, the danger room is like where they train, or like the hollow deck, which is like in Star Trek, where it's like just a room that can be anything with the touch of a button. And I was just like, this is fucking bullshit. I do get that they have like we're the state of the art, super advanced, whatever. But I was like, this is fucking absurd. So yeah, you shouldn't have watched it. I'm glad you stopped, because you just went and had a good time.
And you know what? It's not always worth it. Like sometimes it's fun to watch bad shit, but when you've watched not bad, but stuff that you don't like, sometimes it's fun to watch stuff you don't like, so that you realize like what there is that you don't like about it, and you're better able to recognize in a show that you don't know much about. Like, oh, hey, this is doing a lot of those things that I don't really like. And that's what this show was doing the whole time for me. I was just like, well, it has some merit. It clearly is fine, but then it didn't land many of the jokes for me, which was too bad. I mean, and then when you look at like a beach episode from a spinoff show, going back to Full Metal Panic Fumofu, not necessarily a beach episode, but a spa episode, which is just as common, accomplishes the same thing.
Yeah, like the hot springs or the spa,
we get to see our main characters split off into the guy group and the girl group and all that, and all the guys are being super horny and want to like spy on the girls, but our main character is like, you know what, I'm tired, I'm just gonna hang back. And then he set all kinds of like very deadly, dangerous traps to kill the guys if they're trying to peep on the girls. So it was just like it turned into, all right, this is gonna be like a fun little comedy time, into there's a full-on war zone and everyone's naked, and like it was fun. It was great. I think there's an episode of Full Metal Panic Fumofu where they weren't afraid to do those kinds of like risque kinds of jokes or whatever, and I think that they landed for the most part. But there was a whole thing about this like toxic gas and how they were all gonna die, and then it turns out that gas just like melts clothing.
And that was the whole which is like issue. Oh my god, now we're naked. Exactly.
So it's just those kinds of things where they're able to make those jokes with enough build up and to make them like contextual that it works out, versus being like, I'm gonna look at your panties because I need to know what they are. Oh, they're striped today, dope. Or like, I'm in love with you, I'm gonna convince you to fuck me by being naked, and I'm gonna attack you,
or wearing like lingerie and shit. Absolutely. Like it's just, or like, grabbing fucking people's tits or whatever.
It was way over the top, especially when you have such a good power, teleportation, but it's not just you teleporting. You get to teleport other people and objects and shit. Like holding on to needles and being like, yeah, I could put this needle in your brain, bro, and teleport that shit into his goddamn brain. That's nuts.
Yeah, no, I will say like one of my favorite powers in anything is teleportation, and then like
Yeah.
another one like would be like super speed. Like those are powers I'm like, oh dude, like if I could have a power, it'd be like one of those two because those like seem like super fun. And so seeing her, because like I was like, I wonder what her power is, right? Like maybe it's like telekinesis, maybe it's like no, it's teleportation. I was like,
which
oh
is
dude,
sick.
We don't see a lot of teleportation, and like you know, I like that she had those like I think like they're like, nails that are like on like a garter like around her legs. I was like oh, what a cool like.
It
What a
looks
cool
good
design.
as a design,
what a
yeah.
So yeah, so like when it's stuff like that, like they obviously put thought into some things, right?
So
like
good.
That is super dope. I like the railgun chick. Like she has a lot of powers. She's very strong. So like,
of course, this has all probably been established already in
whatever show she's actually from. Yeah,
in a certain magical index.
But she has like you know electricity powers, and for the most part, like it's like she flips a coin and shoots it at you super fast. Like, it makes this railgun effect, which is super dope. But she has more. Like she like you know electromagnetically like enhances the sand in the ground and makes like this fucking super deadly sword. Or she'll static cling to the walls. It's like oh dude, these powers are super awesome. Yeah. And then there's a guy who can cancel out powers who like I'm like oh dude, what a cool dude. Like he's just like for some reason, obviously it's because the girl likes him and like you know or whatever. But you know they cross paths all the time and they seem to be at ends and end up fighting all the time. So they're fighting. And I was like I'm having a great time. Like his ability is to negate other people's abilities. It's like, and no one seems to know about it because
I was reading about thing. Yeah, I was reading about that because he's the main character in a certain magical index, and his whole thing is he's a level 0 because he doesn't technically have a power, but his power is
stopping
something that people don't understand what it is.
Yeah, which is cool. I remember also looking because like I wanted to look into be like, what the fuck is this firehead chick's power? Because I was like, it hasn't really come up besides her just being some like tech savvy person. She has power and like is like okay, cool, like, but it's not like something OP because she's only level 1, right? So it's like, all right, it makes sense. But glasses chick can like see through stuff, you know, like oh, that's a cool power. And then like our friend level 0 was able fucking Satin.
She was windy.
Yeah, when she leveled up, she was able to like to move like. Yeah, like gusts of wind and stuff like that, but then he quickly lost those powers.
What about Naked Chick? Science Mommy.
Naked Chick, she I don't know if she had a power, but she ended up combining everybody's powers into her own brain and making this super weird fetus monster.
Yeah, she turned into...
Which sounds really like crazy, right? You know, like that the imagery, it gave me like a bunch of like Akira vibes, you know. I was like, oh, this show took a turn. I was like, all right, I guess we're finding this giant monster that's feeling the powers of all the fucking whacked out coma patients, you know, in the hospital.
Yeah.
Like, that's interesting.
Yeah, no, it was.
Her backstory was good too. Did you like it when she's like learning about the kids and what she's fighting for? I was like, cool.
Yeah, exactly, and that's why I was like, you know what, it would be cool if we had like more of this.
Well, we do have like individual episodes later where people like I don't know. They're the girls that are like one of them is in charge of like the girls' dormitory, but I also think she's a part of like the group of people that like fights the what are they called? They're not judgment that the other people the
anti-skill.
Yeah, so she's one of those. One of the girls with the glasses also has an episode for herself. She needs to find out like what her deal is. You know that little child with pink hair that's also an adult?
Yeah.
She has an episode where she's in there, she's like drinking heavily or whatever. It's like, this is a strange thing that they, you know, decide to do that kind of stuff. It's like I said, the show's fine. I don't think it's for me. I do keep in mind that it is an older show, so a lot of the things are antiquated, and it's like cool. Just take it with a grain of salt if it's something you want to watch. Maybe you'll like it if you like that old style of anime, that old storytelling, that old type of jokes. I mean, this show could be for you even today. For me, not so much. I would be interested to see maybe stuff that's newer, or see, you know, the dude with the nullifying powers, because like in the show when he was there, like I liked him. I thought he was cool. So yeah.
I don't know, man. Going into it, didn't know what to expect. But this is an introduction that people recommend going in blind with this first, and then it builds into other stuff. Nah, it doesn't work for me.
For sure, yeah.
It might have been better to start with Index and then go to Railgun and realize, you know what? I don't like this. Mm-hmm. But then if I'm able to watch Railgun S or Railgun T, maybe I would like those more because they're more modern. Maybe they don't do the same kinds of jokes. But I'm calling it a wash on this whole
in a certain series.
Yeah, a certain series. I'm done with it. It wasn't for me. It bummed me out. But it also is a big relief to know there's this giant show that I don't like and I'm not going to participate in because I already know what it is and I know how I feel about it, versus Fate, where I'm like, this is large and intimidating and I have some preconceived notions based off of memes and art, but that's it. And I don't know what it is. And who knows? Maybe I would like it, maybe not, but it's giant and we'll find out eventually, but I don't know when.
For sure. Yeah. Nah, next week, watching all of Fate.
Yeah, sure.
No, yeah. So, I mean, it's good. It's good that you were able to, a bit of this massive series or whatever and be like, okay, cool. Now you know what it is and you know that it's not for you. Like I said, I'd be down to give, something else a try, but I'm not like in any shape or form, like in a hurry to watch more of this or to finish the season. Like I said, I probably have like 2 episodes left and I could give all fuck how it ends. It's fine. Next week we do know what we're doing, right? Absolutely.
Yeah, we're doing Rage of Bahamut Genesis. It's going to be on Hulu for those of you watching.
Which was, I think, recommended to somebody on Twitter, right? Or someone might have mentioned. Hey,
homie on Twitter was like all about that, which is an awesome suggestion because we never heard of it. It was made in 2014 and before the podcast. Slipped through the cracks.
The dark times, the times that we weren't around. Guide people through this scary thing we call anime, and then
instead we would just be like, "What's this show?" and watch it with whoever and check it out. Like you're with the homie, and you're just like, "Oh, you want to check this shit out?" That's how I watched a lot of stuff.
You go, "Yeah, sure, I'll check out fucking Black Bible. That sounds like an interesting show."
Yeah, dude, I don't give a fuck. I'm down.
So that's this week, and that's this next week, and then week after that, like we were saying earlier, we got an email from a buddy. I think it was Michael Thomas, not the wide receiver for the New Orleans Saints, who I'd be super jazzed if you were a listener. This is another guy.
Name dropping now.
He's the boy, dude. Shouts out to our boy, Michael Thomas. Shout out
to Michael Thomas. He's our boy.
He gave us a suggestion. He emailed us a short, nice email of a show that he'd be down to hear us review, which is great because like a lot of times when people tell us like, hey, you should check this out, I think a lot of them are worried that we're going to totally shit on it, and we might absolutely shit on the show. But we might really love it. But who knows? So that's in 2 weeks. We're going to be watching a show called, is it Blood Lad?
Blood Lad.
So next show, that weird thing that's on. I think they're both on Hulu, actually. At least here in the United States. I don't know where these other people are, but I think we checked both of them, and they're both on Hulu.
Yeah, just VPN over to us, and we'll help you out.
Yeah. Okay. That's it. That's all we have to say about a certain scientific railgun.
Yeah.
Right? Cool. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for listening. If you like our logo, hit up AaronFromTurryTops.com. If you like our theme song, check out Tom Master on SoundCloud and YouTube. Trip, where can people find us?
You can find us on Facebook. Look up the Instant Ramen Podcast. We're also on Instagram. Check out us at Instant Ramen Pod. Cast. Dude, I'm all over the place. Today was a long day, I guess.
If you want to tweet.
Yeah. No, I know how it goes. Don't worry about it. Go to Instagram because there's lots of news on there. Twitter, I share shit sometimes. Mostly it's just like big goofs. You can follow us at Instant Ramen Pod on there.
Podcast Center Fit.
There we go. And then as far as emails go, you can shoot us emails too, dude. That's what Michael did to recommend it. Sandcastle recommended the show on Twitter. Just hit us up. We are fucking down to watch your shit, dude. Tell us your biggest secrets. We want to watch them. I don't know. Just tell us what to watch. Like we said, right now there's going to be a lot of downtime when it comes to watching shows. So again, be reasonable. Don't make us watch, 50 episodes of something. No, we're thinking short series. 12, 24 at the most. If it is 24, and that's like, it's got to be fucking good if it's 24. That's what I have to say. If it's 24, like if it's one season, it's 2 core or whatever. And if we're not feeling it, we'll probably just stop halfway. We'll give it the 12 arcs that it deserves and just call it quits because we still need to review something. And our rules back in the day when we do homework, our rules 4 episodes. You get 4 episodes before you really know the tone of the show, kind of what the goals and ambitions are. But it turns out some shows don't want to play by the rules, so we give it 12. Yeah, we'll give it at least 12. Yeah. The thing is, like, back then when we did homework, we were reviewing 2 different things at the same time. Yeah. So it was okay if that happened, right? It was reasonable.
because we can be like, cool, we both watch 4 episodes. I'll talk for a bit. You'll talk for a bit. But if we both only watch 4 episodes, the pod would be a lot shorter, which is good sometimes. But sometimes I want to talk with my boys. So who gives a fuck?
That's true. It's true.
All right, man.
Well, thank you guys so much for joining us and listening. We do stream these on Twitch now. So if you want to get in, catch a little bit of before and after, you can always hit us up there.
It's not going to be for too long. Eventually, quarantine will be over, and I'll be able to see Trip in his face.
It's true. So limited no longer time. Be streaming.
Yeah.
Come and check us out. We're streaming on twitch.tv/Crispather.
And the only reason I'm saying that is because it's going to be too much of a hassle to figure out how
I don't want to
stream at your place.
Cameras. Ugh. We could do it. No, we can't.
No,
it's
we
too
can't.
much work.
We can't do that.
Well, it would be different if we had like desks or tables in front of us. I feel like it's so weird because we sit facing each other with our toes interlocked and our hands just like clasped. So it's really important that, it doesn't look as weird.
Sierra would fucking hate that. There's that meme, where like it's a video of like this, and like people interlocking toes, and like Sierra saw that, she's like, "Oh my god, that's so fucking gross." I'm like, "I know," and I go, "Hey, you want to fucking do it?" And she's like, "Oh my god," she'll freak out. So like whenever I want to bug her out, I'll be like, "Hey, you want to interlock toes?"
Dude, that's how we record the podcast. You got to lock toes to lock hearts.
So fucking gross. Okay, this is bye from Juan.
I'll see you around from Chris.
Hey, Trip, don't forget.
Just add hot water.
Hey, how's it going? How do I start the podcast? Hey, welcome back to. Hey, how's it going? What is that? Hey, how's it going? That's a Cider Boys.
That's a Cider Boys catchphrase. I'm like, what's happening right now? That was so fucking good.
God damn it.
Fuck. Holy
can't believe we fucked that. Way to fuck that up, Trip.
All right, so record.
It's hey, welcome back. That's what it is. Oh man, you can see my confusion though.
Oh, that was fucking great. Okay, cool.